Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do the second variant of paper 1 for core maths. This is a non-calculator paper. In this video, we'll be discussing a detailed solution for the questions that came in this paper and see what tips and tricks you can use. Make sure that you can solve these questions without the need of a calculator. So let's start with this one. It says write the number 16,062 in figures. So we have to write this number in figures. So 16,062. 1,000 has 3 zeros, so 0 and then 62. Then it says write 3/4 as a decimal. So that's 0.75. As a percentage is going to be 75%. 3/4 is 3/4. So you need to remember the basic conversion of like fractions to decimals. 3/4 is 0.75, 1/4 is 0.25, and half is 0.5. So you need to be aware of these. So if you have the decimal for the fraction, you can easily convert it into a percentage by multiplying it by 100. In order to convert anything into a percentage, you have to times it by 100. So when you times the decimal by 100, we move the decimal 2 places to the right. If you divide the decimal by 100, you move the decimal 2 places to the left. So that gives us 75 over here. Then write on the value of root of 36. That's going to be 6, because 36 is a square number, which we get by multiplying 6 to itself. 10 cube is 10 times 10 times 10. That's 1,000. The diagram shows a line AB and a point B. Measure the length of line AB in millimeters. So what you will do is, using a ruler, you will measure the line AB. 1 centimeter equals to 10 millimeters. So once you have the measurement of the line, you will times it by 10, and that would give you the distance that they want. Then draw a line through point B that is perpendicular to the line AB. So to draw the line that's perpendicular to line B at point B, you will take your protractor, put it over here at B, and draw a 90-degree angle. So using your protractor, you can easily measure the 90-degree angle. And as long as this angle and this angle is 90, your line is perpendicular to the line AB. Then complete the statement. 10 weeks is how many days? 1 week is equal to 7 days. So for 10 weeks, we do 10 times 7, which is 70 days. Then shade 2/5 of the rectangle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a column. So total number of squares is 7 times 5, which is 35. To shade 2/5 of the rectangle, we're going to first create an equivalent fraction for 2/5. Since the total number of squares are 35, that means we multiply 5 by 7, and same goes for 2. We times it by 7. If you're multiplying the denominator by one number, you multiply the numerator by the same number as well. So now the equivalent fraction over here is going to be 14/35. So 2/5 is the same as 14/35, which means we need to shade 14 squares. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So these are your shaded squares based on the given fraction. Then the question says find the value of the reciprocal of 1/3. So for reciprocal, we flip the fraction. So 1/3 will become 3. Then write 2 to the power of -3 as a fraction. So whenever we have a negative power, in order to make it positive, we will bring the term down in the denominator. So now it's 1/2 to the power of 3. In order to make the power positive, you always change its place. If it's in the numerator, you bring it in the denominator, or vice versa. So when you move the term, what happens is that the power becomes positive. So now 2 to the power of 3 is basically 2 being multiplied 3 times. So that's 1/8. That is your final answer. Then put one pair of brackets into each calculation to make it correct. So we have to put the brackets somewhere. that the answer is equal to negative 16. So I put it around 4 divided by 2. That's going to be 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is going to be negative 10. That doesn't give us negative 16. So let's say we put it over here. Negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. That's not giving us the answer. We can put it around 2 minus 3. Then negative 12 plus 4 divided by negative 1. So 4 divided by negative 1 is negative 4. So negative 12 minus 4, that's negative 16. So you're supposed to put the brackets around 2 minus 3. Then for the other one, we need to get an answer of negative 5. If you put it around negative 4 plus 5, so that's going to be 1. Negative 3 plus 1 is going to be negative 2. No. If we put it around this. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. Negative 7 plus 5 is going to be negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7 plus 5 minus 7. That's negative 2 minus 7. Nope. We put the bracket around 4 and 7. So 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 minus 7 is 2. And this gives us negative 5. So this is where the brackets are going to come. For these type of questions, you have to use trial and error to figure out where the brackets will be placed. Since we can't use the calculator, so trial and error is the only option that you have. Then write these fractions in order, starting with the smallest. So now for this, I would recommend converting all of them in the same denominator. So if you see, we have 8, 12, 3, 4, and 24. All of these numbers have 24 in the times table. So to make the denominator equal, I'm going to multiply the first fraction by 3, second fraction by 2, third by 8, fourth by 6, and the last one remains as it is because it already has a denominator of 24. So using the concept of lowest common multiple over here, changing the denominator for all of the fractions, making it the same, and then we compare them to see which one is the smallest and which one is the biggest. So 15 over 24, 22 over 24, 16 over 24, 18 over 24, and 13 over 24. So out of these, the smallest is 13 over 24. Then we have 15 over 24. So you will write 5 over 8. Always write the original fraction, not the changed one, in the answer. Then we have 16 over 24, which is 2 over 3. Then 18 over 24, which is 3 over 4. And lastly, 22 over 24, which is 11 over 12. So that's your answer. Then the cuboid has length 5 centimeters, width 2 centimeters, and height 3 centimeters. Draw a net of the cuboid on the 1 centimeter square grid. So it's 5 by 2 by 3. So we can say that this is the 5 by 2 face. This is the 2 by 3 side face. Then we have the 5 by 3 face over here. And then the top, which is going to be 2 by 5. So this is your net. This is 2, this is 5, this is 3. The height, the length, and the width. Then it says work out the volume of the cuboid. So for the volume, we do length times width times height. So 5 times 2 times 3, and that's going to be 10 times 3, and that's 30. So 30 centimeter cube is your answer. Remember, the units for volume is always going to be meter cube or centimeter cube. Like there's going to be a cube for the power. It's not going to be square. It's not going to be 1. It's going to be cube. Then it says for these 6 numbers, write on the mode. So mode is the number that occurs more frequently, and that's 2, because 2 is occurring twice and everything else is occurring once. So that's mode. Then for the range, we subtract the maximum and the minimum value. Maximum value is 7, minimum is 0. So range is 7. Median is your middle value. So middle value. So if we look at the data set, middle value is going to be between 2 and 3. Why? Because this is an even number data set. An even number data set, we have like the total number of values are even basically. We have 6 values, so that's an even number. So if it was an odd number data set, then the value right in the middle of the data set is your median. But since over here there are 2 values right in the middle, so we have to find the middle of these two, which is 2.5. So in even numbered values, we have to find the middle of the 2 values that are right in the middle of the data set. And for odd number values, the median is right in the middle of the data set. It's the one value. Then work out the mean. For mean, you will add up all the values and divide it by the total number of values. So 0 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 7, and there are 6 values in total. So that is going to give you an answer of 3. Because 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 7 is 14, 14 plus 4 is 18, 18 divided by 6 is 3. Then it says Tim has a method for multiplying a number by 99. He shows his method for 53 times 99. Work out 85 times 99 using Tim's method. So based on the given method, we should do 85 times 100 and then minus 85. 85 times 100 is 8500. And then we subtract 85 from that, which is going to be, can use column subtraction for that. 0 is less than 5, so we can't subtract them. So we have to carry a 1 from 5. So this makes this 10, then this makes this 10, this becomes a 9. 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 8 is 1. 5 is a 4 now because we took 1 from there. So it's 8,450. That is your answer. This is a quadrilateral has the geometric properties, 4 equal length sides, 2 lines of symmetries, rotational symmetry of order 2. Write on the mathematical name of this quadrilateral. So this one is probably a rhombus because it can't be a square. A square has more than 2 lines of symmetry, and the rotational symmetry of order is also different. In rhombus, it has 2 lines of symmetry because it's shaped like this. All sides are equal, but your diagonals are of different lengths. Angles are also different. These 2 angles are same, and then these 2 angles are same. Like it looks similar to a parallelogram, but the properties are different. Quadrilateral with 4 equal sides, 2 lines of symmetries, and rotational symmetry of order is always a rhombus. If you're someone who struggles with remembering the line of symmetry and rotational order of symmetry, I'm putting the link of a short above, which has all of the lines of symmetry for each shape that you will come across in your exam. Then it says, write down 2 geometrical properties of a rectangle. Very simple. All angles are right angles. Then 2 lines of symmetries. You can also talk about the rotational symmetry. You can even talk about the lengths. Opposite lengths are equal. So you have these 4 properties for a rectangle. You can pick 2 out of these and write them for the answer. Then the parallel sides of a trapezium have length 6 centimeters and 4 centimeters. The area of the trapezium is 15 centimeters square. On the 1 centimeter square grid, draw a trapezium with these lengths and the area. So the parallel sides are 6 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And area is 15. So if this is 6, your formula for the area of a trapezium is 1 over 2 times height times the sum of parallel sides. So if area is 15, we don't know the height, but we know the parallel sides, which are 4 and 6. We can easily find the height. So that's 15 equals to h times 10 over 2. 15 equals to h times 5, which means h is 3. 3 centimeters is the height of the trapezium. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This can be your trapezium. You have to make sure that the height is 3 centimeters and the parallel sides are 4 and 6. Then complete the table of values for y equals to x plus 3 times x minus 2. So very simple, you just substitute the values of x into the equation and find the corresponding y values. So when you substitute negative 3, we get 0. When you substitute negative 1, we get negative 6. When you substitute 0, that gives you negative 6 again. With 2, we're getting 0 again. And with 3, we're getting a 6. So now we have to plot these points on the grid below. So negative 4 and 6 is going to come over here. Negative 3, 0 is here. Negative 2, negative 4 is going to come over here. Negative 1 and negative 6 is going to be over here. Then 1, negative 4. That's here. 2, 0 is over here, and 3, 6 is right over here. So we're going to connect these points using a curved line. That's your graph. Then it says write in the coordinates of the lowest point of the graph. Then they need the line of symmetry. And then use the graph to solve the equation where x plus 3 times x minus 2 equals to 3. So lowest point on the graph is basically this one over here for me. So that is coming out to be negative 0.7 for me. And y is negative 6.2. That's the lowest point. It might be different as well because like once again I'm drawing it on lines, so like the lines are a little rough. But like this is how you find your point. You go to the lowest point on your graph, draw a line towards the x-axis and y-axis, see what the coordinates are, and that's going to be the lowest point. Then for the line of symmetry, it's going to be the same. It's going to be x equals to negative 0.7. For the line of symmetry, we always use the x value, not the y value, because the line of symmetry is your vertical line. This thing is your line of symmetry. And as you can see, this line is passing through the x-axis, not the y-axis. So it's always the x value, x equals to something, not y equals to something for the line of symmetry. Now, to find the value when the equation equals to 3, we draw a line from x equals to 3. And we see the intersection points between the curve and the line. That's here, and that's here. So that is turning out to be, so for the x values, I'm getting negative 3.6 over here and 2.7 over here. These are the solutions when the equation equals to 3. So negative 0.7 and 6.6 over here. Negative 6.6, this is negative 0.7. This is negative 3.6 and 2.7. These are my values. Then Beth thinks of a positive number n. She squares n, then subtracts 55. The answer is 9. Work out the value of n. So what we will do over here is, so first we squared the positive number, then we subtract 5 and put it equal to 9 because that's the answer. So n squared equals to 9 plus 55. We're trying to find the value of n, so we're going to isolate it on one side. 9 plus 55 is 64. Then n squared is 64, so n would be square root of 64, which is 8. So the value of n is 8. The diagram shows a point P and 3 triangles A, B, and C on a 1 centimeter square grid. Find area of triangle B. So for the area of triangle B, your base is 2. This is your base, and this is your height. So that's 2 over here and 6 over here. So area is going to be 1 over 2 times the base times the height, which is 6 centimeters square. That's the area of triangle B. Then write on the coordinates of point P. Point P is 4, negative 3. Coordinates are ordered pairs where we write the x value first and the y value second. So this is x equals to 4 and y equals to negative 3. Work out the coordinates of point P after translation by the vector negative 20, 12. So the translation vector is negative 20 and 12. So this means that we're moving 20 units to the left and 12 units up. So the x value is going to move 20 units to the left and the y value will move 12 units up. So based on our working, we know that the coordinates of P are 4, negative 3. So we'll subtract 20 from 4 and add 12 to negative 3. So 4 minus 20 and negative 3 plus 12. So that gives us negative 16 for x and y is going to be 9. So your new coordinates are negative 16 and 9. Remember, the top value is for the x and the bottom value is for y. If the top value is negative, you move to the left-hand side. If the top value is positive, you move to the right. Similarly, if the bottom value is positive, you move the shape up, and if it's negative, you move it down. Then draw the image of triangle A after reflection of the line y equals to negative 1. Y equals to negative 1 is over here. So A is going to be, this point is going to be over here because it's going to be equidistant from the reflection line. So if it's 1 unit over here, it's going to be 1 unit over here. Same for this. And this is 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Your size of the shape does not change when you're reflecting it in a line. And you're going to face the same face. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're looking at your face. So it's the same over here. Whatever side is being reflected in the reflection line, you look at that first thing. So it's the same triangle, but like kind of upside down, if you get what I mean. So this is your reflection of the triangle A in the line y equals to negative 1. Then describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. So for A onto B, we can clearly see that there's a change in size. Triangle B is bigger, which means there was an enlargement. So when there's an enlargement, we need the scale factor for enlargement and we need the center of enlargement as well. For the scale factor, what you will do is you will pick two corresponding sides on both the shapes and compare them. So this is 1, this is 2. 1 became a 2, which means the scale factor is 2 over here because 1 times 2 is 2. Now for the center of enlargement, we connect corresponding points on both the shapes through a straight line, and all of these lines need to pass through the same point, which in our case is negative 1, 0. So the point through which all of the lines pass, that is the center of enlargement. So that's negative 1, 0 over here. So we'll go to the answer place now and write that it's an enlargement by a scale factor of 2 about the center negative 1, 0. Then describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. So A onto C is clearly a rotation and it's a 90-degree clockwise rotation because we're moving in this direction. This is clockwise. And for the center of rotation, it's 2, 3 because the point is moving about this shape. So the center is also going to be this. So we write 90-degree clockwise rotation about the center 2, 3. If you notice, part D had 3 marks for each. So 3 marks for each point that you're giving. First mark for what type of transformation it is, it was enlargement. Second mark for the scale factor, which was 2. Third mark for the center of enlargement. Similarly, for rotation, first mark for the angle of rotation. Second mark for the direction of the rotation. Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? Third mark for the center of rotation. So if you don't write all these 3 things correctly, you will not get full marks. Then by writing each number in the calculation correct to one significant figure, find an estimate for the value of 17.8 plus 10.3 divided by 5.5. 17.8 correct to one significant figure is 20. 10.3 correct to one significant figure is 10. And 5.5 is 6. 20 plus 10 is 30. 30 divided by 6 is 5. That's your estimated value. Find the highest common factor of 66 and 110. So for the highest common factor, we can create the factor tree. 66 can be broken down into 6 times 11. 6 can be broken down into 3 times 2. And 11 remains as it is because it's a prime number. We cannot break it down. 2 and 3 are also prime numbers, so we cannot further break them down as well. So we have 3 times 2 times 11 for 66. Now for 110, same steps. 110 is 11 times 10. 11 is a prime number, so we cannot break it down. But 10 can be broken down into 5 and 2. 5 and 2 are prime numbers, so we stop over here for the factor tree. So 110 is 2 times 5 times 11. Now we have to highlight the highest common factor. We can see that we have a 2 in both 66 and 110, and we have an 11. So your HCF is going to be 2 times 11, which is 22. That is your highest common factor. You don't write them twice, like, you don't write 2 times 2 and 11 times 11. That's incorrect. You write the common number once. So 2 is common, so you write it once. 11 is common, you write it once. In the case, there were like another 2 over here, another 2 over here. Then you will write two 2's because there are two 2's common now, not one 2. So that's how you find the highest common factor. You can use the factor tree, or you can even list down the factors like this and then highlight the common ones. Then it says P is a prime number. Write on the value of P that satisfies the inequality that P is greater than 13 but less than 19. So that can be 17 because 17 is a prime number. Between 13 and 19, we have 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. 14 is not a prime number because it comes in the 2 times table, 7 times table, 14, and 1 times table. For a number to be a prime number, it needs to be divisible by itself and 1 only. It cannot come in any other times table. Same as for 15. 15 is also in the 3 and 5 times table. 16 is also in the 2 times tables, 4 times tables, and 8 times table. And 18 is also in the 2 times table and 9 times table. So the only number that only comes in its own times table and the 1 times table, that's 17 for this one. Then write on the inequality represented on the number line. So we're between -2 and 7. As I've mentioned in previous videos, in inequalities on a number line, when the circle is shaded on a point, that means that value is included in the range of values. And if a circle is unshaded, that means that value is not included. So over here, for x, it's going to be less than 7, but greater than equal to 2. -2, sorry. -2 is included in the range of values, but 7 is not. Then use set notation to describe the shaded region. So both the circles J and K are completely shaded, which means it's a union. So J union K. If it was just the middle part that was shaded, then it would be J intersection K. So you need to know about your set notations like what is intersection, what is union, what is subset, what is proper subset, what is complement. All of these things are very important. And if you don't know about these, I'm going to attach a link in the comments below because it has all of the set notations with diagram representations in it. And that would allow you to easily revise and understand what's happening in it. Then work out 2 whole numbers 7 over 9 times 1 whole number 1 over 5. So when you're multiplying mixed numbers, first step is to convert the mixed numbers into improper fractions. To do that, we multiply the denominator by the whole number, then add the result to the numerator. So 9 times 2 is 18. 18 plus 7 is 25. So now the numerator is 25, denominator remains the same. Similarly, 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So it's 6 over 5. Now we multiply the fractions. You can directly multiply the numerator with the numerator and denominator with the denominator as well. But since it says it wants the answer in simplest form, we simplify first. Now you can simplify fractions vertically and diagonally. You can't simplify them horizontally. Horizontally, you can only multiply the numbers. So we can see that 25 and 5 come in the same times table. 5 ones are 5. 5 fives are 25. Similarly, 6 and 9 come in the same times table. So 3 times 2 and 3 times 3. Now we can multiply the remaining numbers. 5 times 2 over 3 times 1, which is 10 over 3. The question wants the answer as a mixed number, so that means we divide 10 by 3. 10 does not come in the 3 times table, but 9 does. So 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. So it's going to be 3 whole number, 1 over 3. The remainder is always your numerator. This is your whole number. And this is always your denominator. So that is your final answer. Then it says the mass mkg of a stone is 3.2 kgs, correct to the nearest 100 grams. Complete the statement about the value of m. So if you notice, it's correct to the nearest 100 grams and the value is given in kgs. So 1 kg is 1000 grams. And 1 over 1000 kg equals to 1 gram. So to convert 100 grams into kg, we do 100 times 1 over 1000. That's going to be 1 over 10, which is 0.1 kgs. So 100 grams equals to 0.1 kg. Now, whatever it's nearest to, in our case now it's 0.1 kgs because the measurement was in kgs. You will divide that value by 2. So 0.1 divided by 2 is 0.05. So for the upper bound, we do 3.2 plus 0.05, which is 3.25 kgs. For the lower bound, it's 3.2 minus 0.05, which is 3.15 kgs. So your maximum value is going to be 3.25 and minimum is going to be 3.15. And as you can see, 3.2 kgs, 3.15 can be rounded to 3.2, but since it's less than 3.25, it cannot be rounded up to 3.3. The value less than 3.25 will be 3.24 something, and you can't round that up. It will be rounded down to 3.2. So this is your maximum and minimum value for the given inequality. Then factorize 9x minus 6xy. So factorization, you see what are the highest common factors. Very similar to what you were doing in the previous question, where we were supposed to find the HCF of 66 and 110. So between 9 and 6, we have 3 common, and then we have an x common. So 9x divided by 3x is 3. 6xy divided by 3x is minus 2y. So that's your answer. In the next part, they're asking us to expand and simplify. So we're going to multiply 2x with x and negative 4, and then 3 with x and negative 4. So 2x bracket x minus 4 plus 3 bracket x minus 4. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 4 is negative 8. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. This was the expansion. Now we simplify by collecting the like terms. 2x squared doesn't have a like term, so it comes as it is. Negative 8x plus 3x can be solved to negative 5x, and negative 12 comes as it is. So this is your fully simplified answer. We cannot further simplify this because there is no other like term that we can add or subtract. For solving a simultaneous equation, we can either use elimination or substitution. Over here, I'm going to use elimination because that's going to be less time consuming and easier to solve. To solve a simultaneous equation using elimination method, we need to first decide which variable do we want to eliminate. Do we want to eliminate x or y? I'm going to pick y. The reason why I'm picking y is because y has a coefficient of 4 over here and 2 over here. For us to eliminate y, we need to make the coefficients equal. And it is easier to make the quotient equal for this one because we just need to multiply the first equation by 2. It becomes 2 times 5x plus 2y equals to 3. So when you expand the bracket, we get 10x plus 4y equals to 6. Now, as you can see, both the y's have the same coefficients in the equations. Next thing we need to decide is how do we get rid of the y? Do we add the equations or do we subtract them? We can clearly see that both y's are positive. So in order for us to eliminate y, we need to subtract the equations. So 10x minus 3x is 7x. 4y minus 4y is 0. 6 minus 27 is negative 21. X is going to be negative 21 divided by 7, which is negative 3. So that's your value of x. To find the value of y, you can put it back into either of the equations. I'm going to pick the second one. So 3 times negative 3 plus 4y equals to 27. Negative 9 plus 4y equals to 27. 4y equals to 27 plus 9. That's 36. And 36 divided by 4 is 9. So when x is -3, y is going to equal to 9. And these are your values. Then the diagram shows a shape made from two different semicircles with the same center. The radius of the large semicircle is 7 centimeters, and the radius of the small semicircle is 4 centimeters. We have to work out the perimeter of the shape. So if the radius is 4, that means this is 4 and this is also 4. And for the large semicircle, this entire is 7 and 7, which means the outside part is going to be 3. We have the straight length, now we need the arc length. So for the arc length, you can use 2 pi r divided by 2, which is basically pi r. So for the first one, it's pi times 4. That's 4 pi. We're going to keep it in terms of pi because that's what the question is asking us to do. And for the second one, it's going to be 7 pi. So perimeter is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 4 pi plus 7 pi, and that's 6 plus 11 pi. That is the perimeter of the shape in terms of pi. And with that, we're done with the questions. If you understood everything, please like and subscribe and share this video with your friends. And if you still have any confusions about any of these questions, please comment below and I'll try to help you out. And don't forget to check out the other videos in this playlist because I'll be uploading all of the grades for paper 1, 2, 3, and 4 for May 2025. You can access other past papers in this playlist as well.